We're now joined by a member of the NTSB, Todd Inman. Mr. Inman, thank you for joining us this morning. Did you learn anything new overnight?
Well, we've had a pretty good development in regard to recovery of not only the voice recorder, but the data recorder. Both of them have been pulled from the CRJ 700 and are currently in our lab. So we're starting the process of not only opening those up, but to begin the extraction of the data, which is a good start to being able to put together one of the very many pieces of this puzzle.
That's just the beginning. You haven't determined anything from those black boxes yet?
No, it will take several days. The data recorder itself has thousands of data points, and they all have to be synchronized against a lot of other things that happened in the plane. The voice recorders actually have to be what's called auditioned among a number of people so that there's complete agreement of how the transcript will come out. And we also look for ancillary noises, maybe a boom or a thud or a crack or something in the cockpit. So those things are going on concurrently, along with the fact we have several hundred people in the field looking at every other aspect of this investigation.
From what you've been able to determine so far, was the air traffic control system at Reagan National overstretched?
We don't have any determination on that at this point. We've got a team that's been stood up of a number of professionals that represent not only the unions, the air traffic controllers, along with the individuals that handle the technology in the cab itself. So all of that will be a lot of the data points that will come together into our final report. And
any determination of whether the helicopter was flying too high? There have been some reports of that it was at 400 feet instead of 200 feet.
There's a separation that's normally happening within what we call these highways on the sky, and that has to do with not only altitude but also speed. But you have to remember there's also the ability for controllers to say give some direction to move in and out of that highway, if you may say. That'll be one aspect that we'll look at in addition to the airplane, which was originally on approach to runway 1, then was asked to change to runway 33, which is a normal procedure, but when and how that happens, it all paints into, again, all of those data points that come out in the final investigation.
How long do you expect this investigation to take?
As long as it takes. We will be on scene here doing all the recovery of the perishable evidence that we need for as long as it takes. Now, the preliminary report we believe will be out in 30 days, but in the cases of these major investigations, it will take a year, if not more, for us to come to a final probable cause. But the most important thing is, the work doesn't just end then. We make recommendations so that we don't have tragedies like this again in the future.
President Trump has already reached a conclusion. He said it was DEI policies that led to this disaster. Do you agree with that?
I think there's been a lot of people that have given different opinions on this, and we take all of that information in. What we look to are the experts in each one of their individual fields in these working groups, and collectively the board comes out with a probable cause. And again, we just don't want these tragedies to occur, so we make recommendations. And sometimes it takes 5-10 years, but we haven't stopped. We've got a great reputation, and we're going to continue to do that.
So you can't make any conclusions right now?
The only conclusion I know is that last night we met with several hundred family members who lost their loved ones in the Potomac. We don't need that to happen anymore. We're going to work, we're going to continue, we're going to find out what happened, and we're going to try to stop it from happening again.
Mr. Inman, thank you for your time this morning.